What the hell is a Heterosexual Awesomeness Festival? I think this jumper makes me blend into the background, but it also has Lisa Simpson on it, so obviously I'm gonna keep wearing it. Hey Spuds, it's Jamie, how's it going? Welcome back to another video of Festival Channel. I don't know, but welcome either way, and today we're here to talk about, laugh at, and just call out the absolute absurdity of the notion of a Heterosexual Awesomeness Festival. Yeah, apparently there is a Hetero Awesome Fest happening during Pride Month this year. Yay. So I thought we could read a little bit about it, watch a little video about it, try and pretend that it's not real. I'm really hoping it's not real. It could not be real. It might not be real. Maybe please don't be real. Oh my god. And then have a little laugh about it and then call out exactly why the hell you don't need straight pride, because that's what they've called it, a Hetero Awesome Fest, but it's straight pride. That's what they're talking about. We don't need that. No. And I'm going to let you know why soon. But first, let's read about what the hell this even is. Idaho Bar to host Hetero Awesome Fest during Pride Month. I love how this news outlet has just picked a stock image of a sad man looking at an empty beer glass in a bar. That's what Hetero Awesome Fest is. Just sad, straight men looking at their beer. Not looking at each other though, because that would be too gay. The owner of a bar in Idaho has announced his plans for a Hetero Awesome Fest this June to counter LGBTQ+ Pride Month. I'm not going to say what the bar is called because I don't think it deserves any attention, but a new event called Hetero Awesome Fest will take place this June with the goal to
address concerns about cultural trends influenced by liberal progressivism.
Progressivism. Oh my god. Imagine not just not understanding people being LGBTQ+, but then totally not understanding why an LGBTQ+ pride might be still necessary in today's day and age, and then why in turn a straight pride is not necessary in today's day and age. Not understanding any of that, and then not just keeping that to yourself or in like your group of friends with shared opinions, but literally being like,
I own a bar and now we're going to promote straight pride because we can't be doing with all this progressive gay shit.
That's what it sounds like is happening. Last year, the bar announced its inaugural Heterosexual Awesomeness Month, which included Hetero Male Mondays. Now see, I know that has the word hetero in it, but that is very homoerotic. These events promise that any heterosexual male dressed like a heterosexual male will receive a free draft beer. We're rewarding you for being straight, and we're rewarding you for dressing according to the gender norms of our society. How do you dress straight? Oh yes, if you come in shit-stained underpants, jeans that are the wrong size entirely, and a dirty t-shirt, you get a free beer. Sorry. I know, not all straight men dress like that. Wednesdays also became Heterosexual Couples Day, where heterosexual couples received 15% off their bill. How? No, my question is, you could so troll this place. So like Shabra and I'm trans, we're both bi, but if we don't tell people that I'm trans and we're bi, everyone just assumes that we are straight and cis. We could go get 15% off their bill whilst both being part of the LGBTQ+ community. I'm sure they'd love that. I wouldn't go and give them my business. They do not deserve my 85%. So the owner last year basically told local news stations that he'd done this month in a response to Pride Month getting so extreme, mentioning imagery you'll see all month with parades and getting to the point of nakedness and things with people walking down the street. I can't get behind that. And things with people walking down. How dare people walk down the street? I've not seen nudity during a pride parade, I must admit. I've been to several, many. And I love it. What's the problem? Oh, you know, all the parades and the people walking down the street. But it gets funnier because the guy then also admitted he'd never been to Boise, I think, is that how you pronounce it? Which is where this bar is. He'd never been there during a pride event. So this guy hadn't even been to Pride, right? That's what it sounds like. Anyway, this year the plans have grown, apparently, but last year it was a month, and now this year the Hetero Awesome Fest has been scheduled for 2 action-packed days, June 20th and 21st. So the festival will feature music from bands that share our vision, food and drinks, vendors and speakers who are on the front lines defending traditional family values. According to the event's social media pages, the festival is more than just an event. It's a declaration that faith, family and freedom are worth protecting, the video says. They are so desperate to be oppressed. Cis straight people, you are not under attack just because LGBTQ+ people are getting more recognition and more rights than they were 20, 30 years ago. It's really important to note that there is a reason why we still have LGBTQ+ prides. It's not just for a party. I'll get onto it later. I'd assume then if they're trying to promote like faith and freedom and the traditional family, that they therefore wouldn't allow any single parents to attend. They wouldn't allow anybody who'd had a child in a different marriage or from a previous marriage, or like where these cis straight dudes have like 5 kids with 5 different people and don't care about any of them. I'm assuming they wouldn't allow anybody of of any faith other than, I would hazard a guess at Christianity. And then freedom is very broad. I feel like the freedom goes both ways. So if anybody there is actively homophobic and against LGBTQ plus people having the freedom to just live their lives, I'd assume they also weren't allowed. So maybe this is just a place for married men and women with their children from that marriage and that marriage only, with no other kids anywhere else, who are Christians and believe that everybody has the freedom to live their lives. I assume that is who. It's stupid. This is ridiculous. They said, our event is not about targeting any group, but about raising awareness of practices we find troubling, such as the encouragement of
gender transitions
among children and their exposure to inappropriate content. Honestly, every single time I see like inappropriate content that could be exposed to kids, such as like children's clothing, it's all from the perspective of heteronormativity. So like a boy's t-shirt that says ladies man's, plural man's, ladies man, or something about boobs. It is always like the notion of straightness that is seen as acceptable to push on children in really inappropriate ways. You know, like if 2 3-year-olds who are a boy and a girl get on and all the parents are like,
oh, look, that's that, they're gonna get married one day.
no, Sandra, they're just playing in the sand pit. Off. It's just ridiculous how it's then twisted and been like,
Oh, it's LGBTQ plus people who are inappropriate towards children.
it is not. It is so stupid. It really frustrates me. And then this whole gender transitions, protecting children. No, you're not about protecting the children. You're just homophobic and transphobic. Oh God, they've launched a charitable organization called Heterosexual Awesomeness. Tell me you're insecure without telling me you're insecure. And it's to celebrate traditional family values and combat the woke mind virus. What if we celebrated God's design for sexuality? What would that look like? And within a few minutes, I had thought, man, heterosexuality is awesome. I mean, it's not though, is it? No. What if we celebrated God's design for sexuality? I don't believe in God, but if I did, I feel like my viewpoint on that would be, if God created us, he also created variation among people, including sexual orientation. So God's design of sexual orientation does not just mean being straight. That would be ludicrous. Why the hell would some all-being, all-powerful thing in the sky give a shit who you sleep with? I think there's way bigger problems going on. Literally, if God did exist, they would not care who people were attracted to. So that's it for the article. I thought we could watch this little video together and just have some fun. Are you ready? I don't think I'm ready. Oh no.
Attention Treasure Valley. The Heterosexual Awesomeness Festival is coming to Boise.
Oh, Boise, I was right. That font is too fun for a hetero awesome festival. Sounds like an AI voice or something. Okay, benefiting hetero awesome. That's the charitable organization. Oh my good lord. Okay. It's the inspiring music in the background. Oh yes, we're amazing.
This isn't just another festival.
Oh, this isn't just another festival. Okay, we have to battle lines. Heterosexual Awesomeness Inc. Why do they think this is some kind of war that they're fighting with LGBTQ plus people? The only reason there's any issue is because of homophobes. So don't just be more homophobic. The battle lines of Heterosexual Awesomeness Inc. are the unyielding front where we plant our flag for family, truth, and liberty. No retreat. No surrender. Why don't these men, and like honestly I'm so convinced this is just coming from a bunch of cis straight men, why don't they find a hobby? Like a nice little hobby, like go paint some fences or kick a football with your child. I don't know. Just do something else. Your life is clearly so unfulfilled. Go get some therapy for the chip on your shoulder. They clearly feel wronged in some way, and it's very confusing because it's not from the LGBTQ plus community. So if you've got an issue, like you've been dealt some bad hand in life and you've got to fight against something, then, you know, maybe work that through with a professional. We're slugging it out against the gutless enemies of traditional values, abortion's life-crushing lies, socialism's family-choking leash, big pharma's pill-pushing scams, and the LGBTQ plus agenda's anti-kin chaos. I feel like they went to ChatGPT for some of this. From exposing human trafficking's evil to torching woke indoctrination in schools. I mean, human trafficking, awful, but what do they mean by human trafficking? Because I don't know if their idea of it would be the same as my idea of it. Torching woke indoctrination in schools. Moderately threatening. We've got 7 non-negotiable stands, each one a hill we'll die on to protect the sacred core of what is the sacred core of family? What is that? No, like seriously, somebody tell me what it is and then show me that as a collective, cis, straight, Christian people never go against that core. Because it's not just LGBTQ plus people that would break that core of family values. And then 7 even hills to die on. That you can only die once. This is where we fight and where we win, armed with grit and God's design. You know, we were talking about God a minute ago. I'm also a firm believer that if there were a God, these would be the kind of people that God would not like. It wouldn't be me because I'm trans. It would be these people because they're arseholes. And they're like, I'm speaking for God based on a book that was written thousands of years ago, translated many times, added to by random people throughout the years. Multiple people have multiple different interpretations of it. Like, how can you possibly live your life by that? It just doesn't make sense to me. How do you think that you have the knowledge and the right to say what you think God's design is when it's not even a factual thing of life that a God even exists? It's a belief that some people hold. It's beyond. It's like, have your belief, have your religious views. Do not do shit like this with them because you just look a bit silly.
It's a movement, a celebration of faith, family, and freedom right in the heart of Idaho. For 2 action-packed days.
Wait, what was that? I love the imagery they're using. I can't tell if it's stock or AI or a mix of both. A war on values, a stand for truth. Wow, and they just got this like family.
We're to honor the values that built this nation. Join us for an unforgettable experience filled with live music and bands that share our vision and rock the stage with pride.
With pride? What kind of pride? Oh, that says Christ is King.
Inspirational speakers who are on the front lines defending traditional family values.
On the front lines defending traditional family values, they desperately want to be oppressed. See, if there were a God, he would switch the roles, even if it were for a day, to make all these cis, straight, whiny people who are like,
We're on the front lines of battle.
A battle that they've made up in their heads, and they think they're actually doing something productive with their lives when they're really not. If there were a God, they'd switch the places and be like, no, you see, this is what it would actually be like if you were discriminated against for your identity and you had to fight for your rights. Yeah, you're fine, Bob.
Savor the best of local cuisine with ice-cold beer and wines, and artisan vendor booths to connect with family-owned businesses and supporters. This festival is more than just an event.
So many American flags and people are like, oh, look at my flag. So has this footage been taken from the previous event, or is it all like just stock stuff and other things that have been created? I don't know.
It's a declaration that faith, family, and freedom are worth protecting.
You said that already.
We're reminding everyone of what truly matters. Together, let's make the Heterosexual Awesomeness Festival a resounding success.
Bands, vendors, join us. Join us.
We're seeking for bands, volunteers, vendors, and sponsors who share our vision.
Oh, wait, hold on. So it's happening in less than a month. I heard about this only a couple weeks ago. This isn't an advert for people to go, although I'm assuming maybe it is in part as well, but this is primarily an advert to actually get people who want to use their business to support this. They need bands, they need vendors, they need sponsors to get this off the ground. They are running out of time. When was this article written? May 8th. So 6 weeks out, and they don't have bands, vendors, or sponsors. Are they struggling to find interest? Because that would be very, very wonderful.
Mark your calendars for June 20th and 21st, 2025 at the Cecil D. Andrus Park by the Capitol Building. Be part of something truly awesome. See you at the Heterosexual Awesomeness Festival this summer.
Oh, I'm horrified. That looked awful. And I'm not just saying that because I fundamentally disagree with what it is and where they're coming from, but also just like, it was a really bad commercial. It was only 1:17. It had weird repetitive music. Okay, fine. The music was fine. The imagery was all just like stock stuff and very repetitive, and I don't know if it was from the actual event, and the text was repetitive and they weren't really saying anything. They were just like, come celebrate being straight, come fight for family and freedom, come eat burgers and drink ice cold beer. Why couldn't that just be a festival in Boise, Idaho, where we bring community together? Why did they have to make it homophobic? It's very weird. And I feel like they could really do with a better advert if they wanted more people interested. It was very half-assed. It's also not lost on me, and I just remembered I wanted to mention this earlier. This video is currently scheduled to come out on the 1st of June. I thought it would be funny. I don't know if it's the best idea, but hello, welcome, Pride Month, with this absolute joke. So now I wanted to go through a little article on BuzzFeed BuzzFeed that's called "The Internet Cannot Handle What This Straight Pride Festival in Idaho is Called." And it's just a bunch of people who roasted this festival. So it started with Matt XIV posted about it, and the replies are honestly so funny. So this is replies to Matt XIV from, I'm assuming, Instagram, maybe Twitter, who shared Hetero Awesome Fest planned for Idaho Capitol during LGBTQ Pride Month. A local restaurant owner is organizing the Boise event after hosting a Heterosexual Awesomeness Month last year. People are sharing photos of the attractions that will most likely be there. Very sad little ball pit in the middle of a hall. Yeah, I feel like that's too generous. They're comparing it to the Old Navy $1 flip-flop sale. That's lost on me. I've never been to Old Navy. I wouldn't even have been able to tell you they sold flip-flops before reading that sentence. Hetero Awesome Fest is literally the worst name I've ever heard for something. LMAO, the straights are not okay. This has got to be the cringiest thing I've ever heard of. Lifetime aura debt for anyone who attends. See, that title is why straight people don't have their own month. Hetero Awesome Fest actually sounds so unbelievably gay. Right? Heterosexual Male Mondays. Straight people are not okay. No. I now regret having ever used the word awesome. They could have at least tried on the name. And lastly, so wait, do the gays throw their bachelor parties here? Is that how this works? Oh my god. It is just ridiculous. And the misinformation around it of like, oh, we need to protect traditional family. What do you mean by traditional family values? And it's like freedom of speech. It's just like, but why can't you give other people freedom to live their lives as who they are? And why are you buying into this bullshit about it harming kids when, like, look at what you put on a damn t-shirt and gave to your 2-year-old? It's all very hypocritical, and it's all trying to hide it behind some kind of weird pseudo reasoning of why they think it's okay that they do this. And it just boils down to, you don't like LGBTQ plus people. That's it. You think for some reason being straight makes you better, and LGBTQ plus people getting some rights and recognition somehow puts you under attack. It's just coming from a really deep place of ignorance, and we can laugh at it. It is fundamentally a really hilarious thing. That advert was shit. It was hilariously shit. The name of the event is hilarious. The reasoning from this guy is absolutely ridiculous. It is laughable. At the same time, it's really important to bring this back around and be like, there is a reason, a very clear reason, multiple clear reasons why LGBTQ plus pride exists, but straight pride doesn't. People are not discriminated against for being cis and straight, but they are discriminated against for being LGBTQ plus in some way. That is it. That's like all you need to understand to get it in your head why straight pride doesn't exist. It's not a lack of equality for straight people. It's not an attack on straight people. It's not taking away straight people's rights. It's not LGBTQ plus people getting to do something that straight people don't have just for the fun of it. It's literally because there is a lack of rights for LGBTQ plus people. It is so important that pride still happen because there is still a lack of rights. If you're interested, on this map, the countries that are filled in show where being LGBTQ plus is still criminalized in some way. It's still punishable with things like prison, and even worse in some countries. Gay marriage is not legal all over the world. There are places where gay couples cannot legally get married. And just for comparison, this map shows all the places where people are discriminated against or have a lack of rights because they are cis and straight. This map shows the countries where cis straight people cannot legally be married. Yes, it is correct that the map is entirely blank because there is literally nowhere that cis straight people are discriminated against for being cis and straight. There's literally nowhere that cis straight people cannot get legally married, but LGBTQ plus people can. But there are multiple countries where cis straight people have rights. There's all the countries where cis straight people have their rights and can get married, but there are still so many countries where LGBTQ plus people do not have equal rights. And it goes from being legally not having equal rights to facing discrimination. And if we looked at a world map that showed the places where LGBTQ plus people face discrimination for being LGBTQ plus, the whole freaking map would be colored in. But still, none of the map would be colored in for straight people. That is why we have a pride for trans people, for gay people, for lesbian people, for LGBTQ plus people. That's why we have a pride. And that's why we don't have straight pride, because they are not needed. And cis straight people who are going to things like Heterosexual Awesomeness Fest should be grateful that they don't need it. And they should understand the ridiculousness of trying to throw some kind of event to get back at LGBTQ plus people. It is so ridiculous. And also, because this is happening in the States, I wanted to look at some specific USA facts and show currently the ACLU is tracking 575 anti-LGBTQ bills in the United States. Guess how many anti-cis straight bills there are in the United States? There is 0. There are 575 anti-LGBTQ bills going on in a minute in the States. Oh yeah. This map by the Human Rights Campaign shows the states where there is an attack on gender-affirming care. All the red states are where there is an attack. That is a lot of states that are red. And literally what's happened just now when I'm making this video is the GOP's big beautiful bill, yes, they called it a big beautiful bill, bans gender-affirming care from Medicaid for all ages. And that was a last-minute addition to this bill. It was already bad enough where it was trying to ban gender-affirming care from Medicaid for under 18s, and at the last minute they got rid of that under 18s bit and made it eligible for just any trans person in the US to not be able to access gender-affirming care through Medicaid, making it inaccessible for so many people. The medically and scientifically approved life-saving health care for trans people is now going to be so inaccessible for so many people. Yet there's people out there who don't understand why there's not a straight pride, cis straight pride specifically. Exhausting. So there's also a rainbow map, and this is up to date as of 2025, and it made quite big news that the UK had dropped to 22 on this rainbow map, where it used to be number 1, and it is continuing to drop and drop and drop and be a worse and worse place for LGBTQ plus people to live. It is not every country in the world. It's 49 European countries, and out of those 49 European countries, because as you can see on the map that shows areas where LGBT plus people are criminalized in some way, a lot of that doesn't include Europe. So even in countries where there's technically not criminalization of LGBTQ plus people, they still don't have equal rights. So just some quick stats. Conversion practices are only banned in 10 out of the 49 countries. 6 countries, out of the 49 countries, there are 6 countries where LGBTQ plus people do not have any protection from discrimination. And there are only 7 countries where hate crime and hate speech on the grounds of sexual orientation, gender identity, and sex characteristics are prohibited. 7 out of 49. Marriage equality for same-sex couples is only available in 22 countries out of the 49. Let's always just remember this is out of 49 total. 18 is a number of countries without any legal protection of same-sex partnerships. Trans parenthood is fully recognized only in 8 countries. Only in Germany, Greece, Iceland, Malta, Portugal, and Spain, that's 6 countries, do they prohibit unnecessary surgical or medical interventions on intersex children. 11 countries still don't have any legal or administrative procedure for legal gender recognition, and only in 12 countries can trans people have their legal gender recognition based on their self-determination. It baffles me that not only are cis straight people, like the ones throwing things like Heterosexual Awesomeness Fest and going to things like Heterosexual Awesomeness Fest, think that they are the ones under attack right now, and they are the ones that deserve a space and a celebration of who they are and a right to stand up and be like,
we need to be protected too,
when there's literally nothing to protect them against. It baffles me that they think that they can do that in the first place. And then when we look at all these statistics, it baffles me even more, because I literally found all of this information in 15 minutes. It is so readily available. It is so easy to find. It's such a good thing that it's so easy to find. It's such a good thing that we have things like Rainbow Map that show us how Europe is for rights. It's a good thing that we have these maps that show us where being LGBTQ plus is criminalized. And we have these websites that track the bills that are going on in the States at the minute. It's not hard to find. And seeing people be so lost in their hatred and their way of life and not even think for a second, like even if you don't want to look at the websites, even if you don't want to be on board with LGBTQ plus people, it's just asking yourself, how have people being gay and trans in the world, how's that even impacted my life? Really, like seriously, Richard, ask yourself, how has that impacted your life? I'm sorry if there's any lovely Richards watching this, but if there's a homophobic Richard, how have gay people impacted your life, Richard? Tell me. I don't know where the name Richard came from. I was like, oh, I need to change it up a bit and not go for like Steve or Dave. But seriously, how? I don't think there's an answer, and I think it's all hypothetical and conspiracy theory. So many people are just lost in their conspiracy theories, and I don't think there's any way to get through to so many people, but I just wish they would stop being proactively dicks. There's a way to like have a dicky opinion. You don't need to then impact other people's lives because of your dicky opinion. You can have that. I just don't want to see it. Please do not show me that opinion. But that's it for the video. Happy Pride. But all the LGBTQ plus people, we deserve a pride. We need a pride. We've come a long way with rights, but there's a long way to go. And particularly for trans people right now, our rights are really under attack in multiple places. So cis straight people, please be allies, and cis people generally, even if you're not straight, please be allies to the trans community. And let's all have a giggle at Heterosexual Awesomeness Fest, but also remember seriously why things like that are just so shitty. I hope you like this video. I will absolutely be bringing you positive pride themed content. I'm hoping to keep the rest of June quite merry. If you like this video, think about giving a thumbs up and subscribing if you want to, but no pressure. You can also see the names on the screen of some of my Patreons. You can also go check that out as well if you want to support me there. I really appreciate anything you can do, but again, no pressure. And just giving a shout out to my top tier Patreons. Thank you so much to everyone who supports me either through watching the videos or commenting or over on Patreon or whatever you do. It all means so much and I really appreciate it. And I will see you next time. Much love. Thanks again for watching. Bye.